Sound Bearier podcast, the State Community College, coming out here from lovely Wayne. Kind of the new studio, you might call it. Our second, the great Chris Demas State. My day, along with a fellow co-host, and our guest, Andrea Amos, Andrea State, and to tell, she's done a lot of things. One of the State, of course, is volunteer learning here, among others. Andrea, welcome to the podcast. A little about yourself, how you came to the ground.
Well, first, I'm excited to be here. Let's say, how I got here. My journey in the Army. So I classes here and over a year, where I worked in financial aid. Lucky me. I started teaching adjunct criminal justice classes, and I want to thank a wonderful friend and mentor, Batoff. Say he conned me into it. I had on the federal or the state. Here I am teaching. But anyway, I've been teaching college and life since 2019, and I'm intro to service learning course.
And whenever we're in the Army, what?
So yes, and so my job first was 63 Whiskey, vehicle mechanic.
Oh wow!
Of that anymore. 92 Alpha, which was supply specialist, or the vehicles that I was. My daily driver was wrecker.
Wow.
Interesting.
I don't do too much.
That's neat. You became full-time in 20 initially.
Yes.
And then play. Could you with that class?
You know, back in the reciprocal learning, information that you did in the community, and so in the early, a lot more colleges and universities. And so Northeast State, Laura Barnett taught it around, and then I started teaching. COVID had a little, but you know, we're now.
Yeah, hearing seems to be all about that for you. Though I know you said you, yes. But what started teaching? Was there something that, or just teaching that continue this as a career?
Teaching, I really got a lot, and I think they might have semesters I taught, kind of into professional development. You know, that's important. Yeah, I just really into it and enjoyed it a little bit. I think I thought I would have.
Yeah, I'm always curious about teaching in general, because when you go through the mastery and your education, you have the 18 hours in right away, really.
Yes.
If you think it's important, like it's not just talking about your subject, it's meant to seriously. True. Of course.
As a faculty assistant, so right. I help others that same process.
Absolutely.
So. What's kind of like, can you, some of the students have done in the past, the opportunities they've had to get involved?
We first started students, so service learning about what they want, and so that was textile waste. Great guest speaker coming. You probably yes,
no G.
Yes, that's right.
Correct.
He was telling us about us and how they help East. Really kind of lit a fire. They wanted to shirts, and we made them into dogs. A lot about that process, and to make them real strong. And, you know, we pounds of shirts. It was a lot. We donated at several of them, a couple of different shelters. Spent an alternative fall at the Bridge Home. They spent some time so they just spent time, and that was pretty cool. It was a whole big project. It was left over in the biggest money for the Dr. Laura. So
love that.
That they've been involved food pantry thing, because food truck a little bit more difficulty on a regular basis. So right. And they worked with the honors program, student life, to help kind of raising some extra existing pantries on campus.
Incredible. I love to hear that cool stuff. And when I was between like 14 and 16, what the predominant Volunteer Northeast. Are you familiar with Volunteer Northeast? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
with it.
So I think people, and you bring that up because 3 credit hour class, so they can, and hours are recognized in that student. That's a great too. We also offer it in enrollment as well. So I really am glad we're doing Volunteer Northeast. It's open to every student. It's free. You go out to your homepage where you see all your course, see student organization, and if you click on that, you can, and I put announcements out there. And so if there's an activity on campus or off, participate in that if they need out. A student feedback from that, like, was needing some, perfect. And you can do it on campus.
Right. Holy cow.
So what are the course, volunteering is running course for just a second. What is the course, you have volunteer opportunities, but to build within them as part of.
So I'm really focusing that they need what we call those, because they're with these partners, they're having to volunteer hours. What do I expect from you? It's a 3 credit hour selective and issue. the class over there. And I'll tell you, their alternative fall break are a lot of fun. Lanes or to the beach to work. I'd love to get there one day or smaller.
Right.
We hope that we can leadership, empathy, building skills, be feedback, and what the problem solve them.
Yeah. Tom, our sheet here, do you see a greater or to volunteering and people in recent years?
A bit of data on this.
There we go. Love it.
So the U.S. Census Bureau of U.S. population age 6 formally helped their neighbors between 20 and 21 at the high. It was 51% of people percent formally volunteer. So there's a difference. Informal, anytime I want, but a formal is kind of organization where you stay with a whole lot of that, honestly. Is your baby boomers and your people with children under 18. That's an interesting statistic.
I think it is the denominator, or there are multiple factors.
Yeah, because all the same things students are, transportation, with other commitments that they have. I can go and volunteer for one, volunteer for another event on this. I may not get as much out, but at the same time I'm doing. Whereas formal volunteer meant through, and you've solved a problem, to speak.
Yeah, makes sense.
I know people with volunteer experience, that seems to be a hot requirement, like critical for the workforce. For a lot, why are they looking for this in the people hire?
Well, this wanted to find out a little to y'all, so I looked at who regularly volunteer, you have a higher chance of getting employed. And the Independent Sector Organization reports $3.49 an hour. So it's up to you. So when a person volunteers, whether that's strengthening the community, whatever it is, meaningful contribution. So companies, and I thought this was really cool, service with 60% paid days off.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's their event that talks about how turnover, but recruit is one of the hardest problems this face. So nations come together and they'll have the Second Harvest Food Bank, for example. Just jobs. You'll see different things like doing some communities, and they want good.
I certainly want their company. Mm-hmm. But yeah, if I was as multiple, that shows me that they're help motivated by item, something to work, or if I was an employer, and I don't plan to be either, would think without before meeting them. Yeah, cool, you're telling me.
Build a little bit of rapport. Individuals as well, recruiting, and it's offering it, but organizations that are benefiting from.
Certainly,
it's pretty cool.
Your tangible money value.
$49 an hour. Yeah,
that's data is good.
No.
Okay, so service learning. So with maybe Volunteer Northeast, do you fall or spring?
So currently my dog can thank you cards to individual school, and they're all thank yous to military. List of several people who've either just joined, deployed.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot in the Air Force now. So the rest is myself. But in spring break project, and at the local animal shelter up last year, Adopt a Highway, Cleandale, and then by the Volunteer Northeast group. Times in the semester, attend things like the any drum club thing we're able to do. As far as this current one of the days, 2 days for fall break, right? Day, and we'll come together and decide work with a partner to do that. Have the service partner the week after fall break. I cannot remember the dates right now.
Fall breaks are all of ours and everybody else's.
No, it's the week after. So that's good. But bring all of our partners in. Last fall we had about 8. We're expecting a few more.
That's amazing.
Who they would be working with gives them an idea to be doing when you get there. Way for the partner to reach out to our students and I think I want to work see or whatever because
build that rapport. I like that.
So first annual one was last year, and thanks to First we got a grant with them.
Oh shoot!
So I
heard that.
We can get something for it would be great because it's that way.
Right.
How do the high school students react doing something, maybe volunteer work for the first time? Foreign to them, how do they react to it?
Oh, anytime you give a class activity, and directly this is what you need to do, daunting, right? But students are excited because community service that they've done and to do, they're learning about the 4 different types. So we have direct, which is a company or an agency or whatever, which may be like print and fly with podcasts, for example, where you need help with scenes, and then advocates. So when you think about an election, as far as and behind your candidate, why you want. And then learning would be looking at a social problem, trying to fix a problem, and then really come with that project. See that, and they do get maybe because they're, oh man, I could do all these, but it can be something very, and students don't realize some of what they've already done. So, beta club, example, all those things you've done, you've had. So let's talk about why you need to perform that work, that organization going, the community.
Right. We might have hit this, but why is this an important part of experience?
Experiential learning, because they're sort of, I was in high school, I was center, and several years, and suicide and stuff like that. And it's ironic, I still work with that here. And so they kind of in that and what's working, what's not working, conversations is huge.
I feel like we Andrea, and there's
yes.
And here alone, that doesn't just stop there. Like some about here at Northeast include mental. Whenever I first Sunday morning briefing giving mental health versus, I was like, that is so needed and important. When did you first start here at Northeast, or?
The honors program had a faculty, and I did it, professional development. And you get a certificate for 3-year time. Was Department of Health reached out to class. I don't know, offered me, so put through the training. The class was pretty expensive, and so I did a couple days in the summer. So it's actually a core council. People how to recognize the signs, substance use challenges. We like to think of
right.
How to open, how to guide a person towards the. So I teach the adult version, or other versions as well. The youth version. We're seeing a lot of our youth, and so it's. I thought, well, there's a veterans and a public service. So there's versions for options, but only the adult version.
Got it. The format for these training, or okay.
You online, in person. So I do 8 hours in person, marathon day, but 8 hours. It's G steps, which military people love acronyms to take the course to find out that. But more companies are actually determining mental health first aiders. Just that we had a lot of HR through from various companies, and so solutions outside for teaching and learning to our faculty, even a student or two actually too. So.
Now, what does the course really take the mental first? What are you going to hopefully get to understand about how job site or whatever?
So it's important that we look at signs and the symptoms of mental health and substance, and identify all those help resources that are available, knowing your counseling, knowing who you can reach out to. We want to focus on reducing stigma, hands-on activity. You would think of the words. Don't use the word. We want to use other words. So we talk about different things like that among individuals. To run into somebody who's experiencing a mental. We want to increase. And also managing a lot about self-care. People have often asked me to do compartmentalize everything I do. Self-care, one of my top people always see the self-care part. That's important, and we push it.
Yeah. For those that are listening, they've never really heard of what really, and maybe what's a form person can do.
There's so many, but I do like to see a lot on the activity make me feel re-energized. Personally, enjoy is kayaking.
Love kayaking.
Yeah, I out there near the edge, and it was, and then so in the wild. So our map,
JP.
Yeah. So it can involve so many things recreationally, not just because and just spending time. We go through a lot, but the things that really will be those that will re-energize. So
yeah, that's awesome. It make you feel present in the moment and re-energize.
How fast you can kayak when you see it changes you.
Your perspective is dealt with is like just great. I guess you get a boost of endorphins and all that after you survived and didn't get.
That was a 10-mile day too. I hope I make it back.
Do you get this from people about on their job, what they see, or what is? Yes.
Well, definitely the HR rep, for example, they're saying that they're having to deal with that maybe need to take reason. And so then a lot of times when we know our accident, we will, let's go visit them in the hospital. It tells you when they're having a mental health. So you don't really do the meal train, go see them in the hospital. So it's a way to get from their point of view, that person. So it's say for some, and it's a hardcore. I've experienced any kind of mental, a family member that has, and so we'll say, if it comes up as you walk out there, usually I instructor, and we'll just sit with you. And so it's neat. Most people, when they leave the course, wow, I really in early before they became work, and it's been but it's been like, wow, I should have earlier.
It does sound like a very heavy. All are really sensitive who are attending, like if they need side because either triggering to them. It's very specific to you all cater to support them through.
We use humor a lot.
Well, hey,
yeah, because we don't laugh as much as we should. We let that endorphin the exercises that we do has already pre-planned things in there to just fun. And then two, you want to be able to take away, want everybody crying when they leave.
Right, that good mix of all.
So you've training for a lot of the local around this region, like downstairs in Basler Library. There's be a variety of through which I've witnessed, and they're pretty common. Incredible deal with really suffering and diseases like dementia, all a variety of things and until they kind of get a better understanding. Just a little bit about that and how that.
So 2020, there was lots of money. So in collaboration with Criminal Justice, Higher Education Emergency Relief Grant, and we got crisis intervention team. We got that here at 8 with Major Sam Carter, and it's expanded. The idea is you could might call a K-9 officer. So this is and they're going to be all the resources and the things. Meaning it's a 40-hour for the Tennessee law enforcement. I couldn't have done it without the help of, and now Chief Andrea.
Yes.
Part of every single year we get a new post to get that done, and office awards 4 units to every attendee. Graduated I think 100, and wow. So for every we build a little bit of money for that, so that's good. The only college in the state actually across the state of Tennessee, they're following there is a C force that meets quarterly, taking that and sharing them on that, so different guest speakers, they rank autism to and then we the experience, whether it's persons with schizophrenia, example, mental health agencies, and we go to Turning Point in Johnson City side and Kingsport, and we Ridgeview Pavilion, which is in Bristol this fall. Paid on hands-on training. That's the dementia simulation you've mentioned. A really good one because dispatchers, whoever comes through, times it's EMS dispatchers, really experience what dementia is. We put the glaucoma glass, popcorn in their shoes. We tie their fingers together. Dark room, and we make them tie and all the things. Yeah. And it's comic. So listening to them because they may, and that individual they would assume they should be or whatever, and okay, so maybe this person, help them a little bit more. Yeah. For with autism, tend to venture towards missing child. We're going to look at. So we're training our off. I'm super excited because Sheriff Sexton, over 13 different departments, one CIT officer, so huge about him. Profit with Washington County Court Leader and the help of Frontier Health Ballad. So we've built, this is the 4th year now doing this, and we have 2 to 3 all volunteer. So it's great. And it's a 40-hour week here, but really do play scenarios at the end. We course here, that was left over, and we brought additional teachers and Major Elf, who was retired, who taught us the scenarios that I had, and so we'd be even more comical so not see me in a different light.
Of course,
but it's a learn. Yeah,
I've been able to witness several of the speakers who came and very, very, and which I think a lot firsthand, really moving. The Alzheimer's and the dementia, it's a fascinating people kind of get just a little taste and just not being able, they believe that is really an eye-opener.
I'm going to give this for teaching and learning is dementia simulation actually this semester, which 25th, and is going to come in and do the same CIT for about that.
Yeah. A little bit of big key. This is exercise ourselves in the shoes of. Well, Andrea, you are the truest. All the associate. I've known we peeled back the layer, just how much, and it's really impressive.
I'm blessed. I get to work with a lot of the library staff to host us, and getting people have been taking pictures of and getting that out there for us. Solutions, the police department, to get to do the things that I do.
Yeah.
I'm interested.
Good question. I know we're going all the way.
Yeah, I don't know, honestly.
How old were you?
17. Yeah, I was 17.
You mentioned that too.
25 now. So, my first years in, I did some active across the state, do all the fairs and, drive the big vehicle, how exciting that was, and recruited my husband.
Yeah.
And so, immediately guilty because he got to Iraq. He was in Army. And so, and I had 2 small. And so I had to be a single parent for 18 months, be also military. I'm the parent of military people. It's like I've with that,
Seriously.
but I don't know what caused it. Well, this will be great. I can get and I did. I bill.
Very good.
I did to ETS in criminal justice and psychology, and then other than that, then the I'll stop.
Thank you so much for joining us and sharing all your that you're involved in. A professor, but a true and through. Well, Sound Bearier listeners tuning into this episode. Taking classes here at Northeast State, Miss Amos, service learning, volunteer with volunteer. Once again, thank you all so much. Talk at you next time at Barrier.
Listen to the Sound Bearier or the Sound Bearier. We also stream on your favorite music. Apple Play, Pandora. We're on. Check out Northeast State Community College, state.edu.